It's 2:35 a.m. in a wide-body jet somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, and you're listening to Night Call.
Hello, and welcome to Night Call, a podcast to keep you company on those strange days and lonely nights. My name is Emily Yoshida. I am once again here in Los Angeles. You can't keep me away. And I am joined, as ever, by
Molly Lambert and
Tess Lynch, of course.
Hello. And of course, I'm Tess Lynch. Charmed, I'm sure. We're back together in the same room. I have just gotten off a plane from New York. It is about 1:30 p.m. as we record this, and I woke up at local time 1:30 a.m. So I'm just like,
you're in the Langoliers, which is the theme of this episode.
Yes, we're in a air flight. Yes, air flight.
An aerospace travel themed episode.
Yeah, it's. I feel like I've been on a zillion planes recently. I've watched a lot of Succession, as I was telling Molly and Tess. That's now my plane show. So,
have you guys seen the Langoliers?
I've never seen the Langoliers.
I think I read it a long time ago.
Dude, the TV movie of the Langoliers is so good and scary. It's basically...
Who's in it?
It's a lot of things that they then ripped off for both Stranger Things and just some other...
Are the monsters like the Stranger Things monsters or something?
No, the monsters are amazing because the Langoliers are like... So the Langoliers is a Stephen King book about people... My boyfriend got me to watch it because he remembered. He had watched it, I think, when it was on originally. It's so scary. It's like you fall asleep on a plane and then you wake up and like almost all the people are gone except for you and a few people. Mm-hmm. And then those people try to find out what happened, like what is going on.
Whoa.
There's like nobody flying the plane or something. And basically it's like they like went in a time loop, time warp.
Oh, yeah.
But the Langoliers are these like, they're described as just like giant like dust balls that roam through space, just like eating space-time.
So they're like not sentient, they're just things?
They're sort of like tumbleweeds that like eat everything.
Wow. They're like space-time tumbleweeds.
Yeah. It's really good and I recommend it to everybody.
I'm in the right frame of mind for it.
Yeah, we should do a Langoliers episode.
And I also like those. I went back and watched all those 80s Stephen King like TV movie series events. Like The Stand.
The Stand is so good.
Yeah, I just saw they're rebooting it. Original The Stand 90s TV movie.
Nice.
Great thumbs up to that.
Molly Ringwald, Gary Sinise.
I feel like I'm now entering the right headspace for that. I don't know. It's like such a dark spot for me. All those Stephen King TV movies. I only watched the It one recently.
Oh,
like before the movie came out. Yeah,
it's so good. They're all so good.
I don't know.
They're all good, and they're all like they're before whatever we call like the golden age of TV. But they're interesting in that it's like, it's good to make something that's like 4 or 6 parts sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a good length.
Do you guys remember Merlin? Did you watch Merlin?
Was that like an NBC
It was an
special?
NBC,
What
like,
is it?
5-part thing or something.
I feel like we mostly missed the real golden era of like
TV
multi-part TV movie
miniseries.
events. Yeah. But
although, I mean, I feel like it's kind of exists now. Like half the things that we like as shows are actually considered miniseries now.
But
I
that's
guess
because now everything is like they sell it as a miniseries, and then if it does well, they make another season and it's a show, like Big Little Lies
or American Crime Story.
Oh,
but we can talk about that later. Yeah. Wait, first, real quick, before we get into the meat of the show, I just wanted to share my recent experiences. I guess in the same vein as food moods. What's a good fast fashion,
fast fashion
update?
Fast fashion corner.
We really need to come up with a tune for it, otherwise it can't be a recurring segment.
Yeah.
By the end of the show, we'll have figured it out.
Can it be the Hot Pocket song?
Fast fashion. I had to kill some time recently in Soho and was walking up Broadway and decided to go into some stores I'd never been in before, but had always just walked by. I think I just consider everything around there to be something that I can't afford, or it's just like I'm not in the market for, so I'm not going to go in, or I'm not interested. But I went into an Aritzia, and I tweeted about this, which is like the most mystifying like women's fashion. It's like, it is fast fashion, I guess, but it's oddly expensive. Molly looked it up and apparently it's Canadian. It's from Vancouver.
And then somebody tweeted us and said they have like crazy sample sales in Vancouver
that
where
people
they
mob, like
sell out like an arena.
It's like the Barneys of Canada, but it's like that's saying something that's bad. Like,
well, you were saying also it's like the clothes are kind of like H&M-y. So
but there's like no. You can walk into a lot of stores like that and kind of be like, who's the and other stories girl? Who's the coast girl? To pick my two favorite like Scandinavian semi-fast fashion brands. And you kind of have a sense of it, but this is just like all over the place.
Everything.
It's just like everything.
What kind of fabrics are they working with? Are we talking like synthetics?
So there's a lot of wool blends, like wool synthetic blends, but they kind of just feel synthetic. And so when you pick them up and see that the sweater costs like $150 or $180, you're like, oh, wow, this is not what I thought I was working with here.
Yeah. It's like fancy themed.
It's fancy themed, but it's just there's something kind of AI-ish about walking through the store, and like it has these weird little like tone poems on the tags that feel like they were written by a bot. It's very odd. I did not buy anything from Aritzia, and then I went to this other store called Berkshire.
Yeah, that one I've never heard of.
So
how do you spell this?
I can't remember if it's Berkshire or I think it's Bershka. And I had thought, again, this is like some Zara-esque or maybe more expensive type store. It is the cheapest store I've ever. It's cheaper than Forever 21.
Is it good?
Not really, but it's like,
but it's so cheap and there's so much of it,
and it's much more like youth oriented. Like it feels kind of like going into a Wet Seal in the 90s. There are all these like lucite blocks that say like we celebrate the dancers and stuff like that. But everything was kind of non-functional in the store. Like most of the mannequins were undressed, and there was just like a mess inside, and it really felt like
find out.
Fall of the Empire-esque. Like
now I have to know. I got really obsessed with the in the other sense, fast fashion of Brandy Melville.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The size one opened in the Americana, and then I found out that they are like
one size only.
Where it's one size only, and the size is small, and it's like if you don't fit it, you can't shop there.
Yep.
Which is so shitty. And then I just but I went into the store just to like see what the stuff looked like.
Right.
And I was
so
literally,
boring.
First of all, they had a lot of stuff where the branding was Los Angeles 1984. Which was a weird feeling. I was like, okay, now I'm already thinking about fascism. But then literally one of the tags on one of their sub-labels is called John Galt.
You told me about this.
Yeah.
I think I remember this. Yeah.
And I was just
so
like,
odd.
you guys, like, this is like, they're telling us what
Yeah.
it is.
But it's like the style of clothes is like girl in a country music video.
It's like Abercrombie.
Yeah, it's basically Abercrombie. It's like a lot of like skinny,
Eagle.
like distressed jeans and plaid shirts that you're supposed to wear like unbuttoned down to like a
flattering. It's not even like a cool, scary fashion kid store where you're like, of course I'm scared to shop there.
But all the clothes would look really good if you had a platinum blonde blowout, the official hairstyle of female fashions. That's the look. Sorry to generalize here on my call, but so we have a lot of calls,
and they're all really
this
good.
Week on Night Call, and we're gonna we had a lot of responses to our discussion about Velvet. I almost said Velvet Goldmine, which is a great movie, but not the movie we were talking about.
Also has Toni Collette in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was thinking, I watched Bohemian Rhapsody recently, and it just made me wish I was watching Velvet Goldmine instead. Like, I feel like the theme of movies I've been seeing recently is it's a lot more fun to like watch the fictionalized version where it's like not dependent on depicting real life events. So you can be like, it's an artist kind of like David Bowie or kind of like a glam rocker, but not have to like go through every single bullet in the Wikipedia article. But anyway, Velvet Buzzsaw, which now feels like it's been 5 years since it came out, but it did get a lot of good responses to us about killer art.
And also
art
planes.
that kills. And planes, yeah.
And planes.
Yeah, and the intersection thereof.
I was also saying that I went to the LA Art Freeze and that it was exactly like Velvet Buzzsaw to the point that I was like, is it even parody? It's just representation of
Did
what
they have
this
a hobo
is.
man?
They had silly like sculptures. There was a giant like ketchup bottle.
Cool.
by Paul McCarthy.
Pop art is back, baby.
It was cool because it was as tall as the water tower. It was so dumb
Whoa.
that it was like...
Oh my God. This just reminds me of like, did you guys read, this is still one of the most memorable New Yorker profiles to me, the profile of Scooter Braun in the New Yorker, where the reporter just like followed him around going to all these like shitty pop art galleries in Los Angeles and like buying art for his home. Just like the worst stuff, the worst like faux Banksy type stuff. Yeah.
I will just say that as I walked into the art fair, the guy in front of me was wearing a full Adidas jumpsuit and a cowboy hat.
Cool.
I kind of respect
That's
that.
a good
actually.
look.
I respect when
It's
people...
comfortable and sun conscious.
I respect being in places where everybody is like, look at me, because you never feel bad about people watching. 'Cause
Exactly.
they're like, all want to be watched.
They give you permission.
They give you permission. But then I was also like, get me out of here at the end.
Well, we had two separate emails about the Denver International Airport.
DIA, baby.
DIA.
DIA?
DIE, another DIA. We could kick it off with Christina.
DOA at the DEA. Let's read Christina's, who writes to us saying, so when you guys were talking about Velvet Buzzsaw and art that kills people, I was immediately reminded of the demonic blue horse protecting the Denver airport, which killed its own goddamn creator. Was the Denver airport ever addressed on the pod? Forgive me if I've forgotten. I get absorbed in the Stargate apocalyptic FEMA shelter theories now and then, and while I don't necessarily believe these stories, one cannot deny that there is something wrong with the Denver airport. Okay, bye for now. Yes, the Blue Mustang.
Blucifer.
Blucifer.
So Blucifer is 32 feet tall and 9,000 pounds, I believe. So that's already like just not really right somehow. There's something very wrong about that.
That is too big.
It is made of fiberglass and it killed its creator. He had just finished the head and it fell on him in his studio, and then his friends and family and staff finished it for him.
Holy shit.
Against what may have been their better judgment. But Denver Airport is just a mess, you guys. I didn't know any of this about Denver Airport.
I do want to talk about Denver Airport for sure, because there's so much stuff going on there, but I want to encourage our listeners to look up a picture of the Blucifer.
Please look at Blucifer. He has glowing red eyes,
Yeah,
correct?
he has glowing red eyes.
Oh, God. It looks...
It looks like something from hell.
And the head,
it greets you at the airport when you're you might be coming there with a lot of anxiety.
Greets you at the gates of hell.
Yes. There's something very Ghostbusters about
There's
Blucifer.
veins on his. He's sort of blue tinted. The picture on Wikipedia, it's at night, so he's like illuminated. So he is blue.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's pretty metal. It's sort of, it looks like something at the beginning of like a distributor or production company logo at the beginning of a movie.
Yes,
like the horse would
TriStar.
rear up. Yeah, it's like a TriStar horse. Yeah.
And
it's very dramatic.
So it was installed in 2008, so it's pretty recent.
It's pretty new.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg for iceberg
the tip
for
of the
Denver.
Langolier.
Yeah, it's total Langolier. Did you guys know about Denver International Airport?
No, I knew nothing.
Some stuff.
So crazy, super weird. It's like,
has anyone been there?
I have. I feel like I went before all the weird stuff was there, except like obviously the runway thing must have been there for a while.
Well,
but,
let's back up to let people know that one of the conspiracy theories is that the runways are in the shape of swastikas.
Yes.
Oh.
Which is kind of like people are like, only if you really look to see that shape are they that way.
If you want to see a swastika.
In the way that all rectangular knots can sometimes be turned into swastikas because swastikas are taking rectangular knots.
Yes. Yeah. And
making
also
them
like
something evil.
Yeah. I mean, it's like from an aerial view of anything.
Almost bought some bed sheets on sale the other day that then I was like, this pattern is a little...
It's also like the ceiling at Canner's is a little swastika-y.
I've never looked.
Well...
Yeah. Anyway.
My friend Caleb, they got married he and his wife Marie got married in a place in Chatsworth that is a building you can rent that's owned by the city that's really cool, but it's like an old an old-timey California house, and it is so old that it has a bunch of swastikas as a motif in one part.
Oh, wow. Because
It predates the
it's like
Nazis.
Buddhism.
Right.
Yeah.
And for the wedding, they covered them all with Post-it notes, and it was very cute.
Wow. You think that they would get those replaced if they were renting out the place as a venue?
I think it's it's a historic
Yeah, you
thing.
probably
And
can.
there was
Yeah.
like a time when it was trendy to put them in things because they
Yeah.
were like, there was a trend for like, Eastern mysticism.
Yeah. But besides the swastikas on the runways, there's also there are gargoyles by baggage claim. There are secret bunkers, apparently. There are some murals that people think are like tales of the apocalypse. And at some point, a CEO took over Denver Airport and decided to like kind of play with
into it. Yeah.
enjoy it, that there are conspiracy theories. And so they kind of showcased some of the theories, but not like the swastikas,
Right.
for instance. But yeah, people.
Although how long until?
Right.
Yeah.
People also think there's like some kind of Freemasons connection, and there's a lot of like right-wing conspiracies about like lizard people in the bunkers and stuff. It's an interesting rabbit
Why
hole.
Denver?
I don't know. I think I've gone through a couple times, but I did get stuck there for an extended period of time when I was pretty young, like when I was 11 or 12.
Were you
or
traveling
something.
alone?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
traveling alone. So I really remember the Denver airport from that. I remember the smell of the Denver airport really, really
Were you
distinctly.
riding a tricycle down the hallways?
And yes.
The hallways are bleeding.
Oh yeah, kind of. It was before cell phones too, so I had to like use the payphone to call my mom and
yeah.
check in with her. It must have been before all this, at least the stuff that's really on the surface. Because now they have, like, because of the CEO who took it over, they have all these ads that are like, there's something like strange going on in Denver, and like pictures of aliens and stuff on the like light up like billboard advertising spaces.
What?
It's very, yeah. Have you seen these?
No.
Oh my God.
I saw
Yeah.
when I started looking at it, but I started looking
Yeah.
this morning. I was like, this is very strange
I
for
feel
an
like
airport.
somebody sent us something about those ads a while ago, but then I don't know if we read it on air, but now, you know.
Denver
we're
Tourism
to it.
Bureau.
Yeah.
Hit up Night Call.
Yeah, clearly
We will go to the Denver airport.
The CEO, Kim Day, hit us up.
Yeah.
We're
It's that
right at the point
altitude.
where we're like, we would love a glamorous trip to the Denver airport and a hotel on the
Yes.
outskirts of the
Yeah.
airport.
If they have one that's like,
Dream come true.
on
Wait.
site, that would be great.
What did it smell like?
It's a smell I associate with like other kids' houses.
Oh, yeah, it's other kids' house smell.
It's a smell
which is
of
a
another
known
kid's
thing.
house. Every once in a while, I'll smell something like that and think of the Denver airport. It's
I
just,
wonder if it's mildew.
it's sort of mildewy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little musty. There's
Are there
just a
other
lot.
haunted airports?
Have you guys ever, this isn't about haunted airports, but it's one of my favorite airport related ephemera things, the Carpets for Airports website.
No. Oh, yeah, where it just documents all the different carpet patterns in the airport.
And people write little
yeah.
essays about the carpets on the, please look it up. It is such a good website.
Is it, what
do
is
like
it,
that
carpetsforairports.com?
I think it's and they play. It's like this sort of live globe, like a 3D sort of. So you can kind of spin it around and then pick a different airport.
It's like ASMR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But you know who co-runs this website? Hugh Dancy, the actor Hugh Dancy.
What?
This is
Apocryphally,
this is-
or?
no,
Really?
Like I think it's him and somebody else.
He must do a lot of airport carpet.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it's so good, and then it really makes you anytime you're at an airport like look down at the carpeting and think like this was a choice, because of course all these big like institutional places, there's nothing that's not thought about in them as far as like, you know, just like creating like a mood.
Yeah, that's
or
what makes
like
it so scary.
Yeah, because it's all meant to like pacify like
What-
the entire environment.
What is the longest you've ever been trapped in an airport?
Oh my God, so long. I think it was like 18 hours or something in Philadelphia in college, where it was one of the things where they keep delaying the flight incrementally
Yeah.
so that they wouldn't like
So you
get
can't
us
just
a hotel.
leave. Yeah.
And
Oh
that
my
was also
God.
it wasn't pre-cell phones, but it was so long that eventually we were just like using payphones.
Right,
like,
'cause your phone had died.
Yeah. And my friends, we were coming back from spring break and I had pneumonia. It was really
That's
horrible,
awful.
you guys. And all I wanted was a cheesesteak because I was like, I'm in Philadelphia. Even the airport will have a cheesesteak.
You have
and the
pneumonia and
timing,
you want a cheesesteak.
it was like we got there and
when
everything was like
nothing's
about to
open.
close, and
Oh
then
my
nothing was
God.
serving cheesesteaks until after we had left. It was a nightmare.
That's brutal.
What about
Yeah.
you, Emily?
I don't know. I recently had like a layover I knew about that was long. That was something like 6 or 8 hours in Minneapolis. But I feel like there must have been other ones that were longer that I've blocked from memory.
Yeah.
That were accidental, like where I just got stuck.
I believe Dallas-Fort Worth is my most hated airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's
That
a
one
sinkhole.
is-
That's its own city.
It's its own city, and like that was the one where I probably got stuck at for the longest, and it made me realize just like we'll never be able to live in space because no matter how big you make the biodome, it's never going to be big enough,
Yeah.
and you just want to be outside so bad.
I have to say that I could stay at Logan in Boston for a long time. I love the Logan airport. They have illegal seafoods. Like I'm just very fond of Boston in general and feel very at home there. Found the people very nice. I could have chilled there forever. Philadelphia was not up to those standards at all.
Hey,
Yeah. I've been to I've been to all these airports. I can't remember. I must not have spent long enough in them to make an impression.
they all do blend together.
Yeah.
And that sort of placelessness is what makes them sort of nightmare places.
Yeah.
So, guys, getting back to the night calls real quick, I'm just going to read an excerpt from the other night email that we got regarding regarding Blucifer. This one comes from Austin. They mentioned the fact that a lot of people want Blucifer removed, but he or she says, the whole killer art thing is, of course, very sad, but it's fascinating, too. It's easy to read into it as an idea of artistic hubris. Also, it is how the Kim Cattrall movie Mannequin should have ended. I'm from Colorado originally, and on reading the Wikipedia article was surprised to learn that it was only erected when I was in college. It feels as essential to DIA as are conspiracies about lizard people living in the tunnels underneath the airport, which of course are part of the branding of the food court renovations there.
Wait, are they suggesting that the mannequin should have killed the guy at the end? Because I agree.
I mean, yeah, that's all of a sudden a much better movie.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's Ex Machina.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I guess the thing that's troubling about them leaning into the tunnels.
Guy was murdered by the
Well,
thing?
yeah, like a guy was murdered for one, and two, it goes against this entire thing about like the pacifying nature
Right,
of
like what an
airport.
airport's supposed to
You're not
do.
supposed to be thinking about anything creepy because it's so close to being creepy already.
Right. It's like how they edit
so
out stuff
unnatural.
about plane crashes on movies on
Right.
planes.
Wait,
Yeah.
do they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
all still and now in
Yeah.
this day?
I mean,
Really?
Especially after 9/11, they did.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then I feel like they just always do. They just take out the mentions of it because they're like, don't think about it.
I feel like I'm a connoisseur at this point of the safety videos of different airlines, which are the more troubling, the more cute they try to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever flew Virgin America.
They have, yeah.
R.I.P. But the big like musical number one, which was their last safety video before I think they shut down. That one with like. Yeah, because it has like a rap in the middle of it. It has like robot dancers
Yeah, that
and
one's
stuff.
horrible.
But then there's still like still a woman putting an oxygen mask on a small child in
Yeah.
the middle of it.
As their plane plummets to
Yeah.
the earth.
I
always
always
thought-
think of Fight Club.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
I always felt like Virgin America's vibe was like not right.
Well,
It's
for
fine.
that
Yeah.
same reason that it's like not soothing, it was sort of like it's a party plane, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to be on a party plane.
I like the purple lights. That's it.
I didn't even like that. It was like made me feel a little giallo-y.
Well, it also had the thing of the messaging between the seats, like
and
which
now
they made.
Alaska has that too because
Yeah.
they took over the Virgin
Right?
plane, so you
Yeah,
can-
yeah. But that always like it felt like it was given to you with kind of a wink of
Yeah.
like, hey, like you can go say hi to that sexy someone in row 32. But somebody on Twitter recently posted that. I think it was on a plane. I'm pretty sure it was on a plane, and it was like the Diet Coke was the beverage sponsor or something, and so the napkins that they gave out with the drink said like, "Here's a space to write your number down
Yeah.
for somebody," which is like so.
It was not received well.
No, it was not received well. I mean, like, again, like, it's the thing of, like, it used to be fun to be on planes, and you used to get horny on planes. Now I can't think of a less horny
No,
place
look
in
at
the
those
world.
bathrooms. Is
I think
that
the
where you're
Mile
supposed
High
to
Club.
hook up?
The Mile High Club makes so much more sense if you're thinking of like a 2-story plane
Right.
With a piano.
With a
piano.
staircase.
Piano's
and a
important.
staircase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of terrible flights, now getting more into air travel, not so much airports. We have this call from Matt, who writes us saying, after listening to Tess talk about air travel in the most recent episode, I was reminded of a story a teacher told our class about a ghost, the night call memory connection, seen by a flight attendant on an Eastern Airlines flight. All I could recall was that the ghost appeared in the oven used to warm up meals and warned the FA about a potential fire. I think FAA. I did some light Googling and sure enough found that story and several others about the ghost of Flight 401. The short story is that Eastern 401 crashed into the Everglades in 1972 and the pilots of the flight were spotted multiple times by several witnesses over the following years, especially on planes that had been fitted with parts salvaged from the crash. Eastern eventually had to remove all of those parts and the sightings stopped. I hope you found this as interesting and spooky as I found it. Love the pod. Oh boy. So, news to me that you can use salvaged parts from a crashed plane.
Such a bad idea.
First of all.
Such a bad idea.
This is a totally new story to me. I'd never heard of any of this before. This is wild.
So this plane crashed in the Everglades in 1972, and the pilot's name was Bob Loft, and the flight engineer's name was Don Repo, which also, like, how can this be real?
The Repo Man?
Loft?
Bob
Loft? Come on. Repo
Loft.
Man?
Loft blog.
So they were two of the people who died. There were 101 people who died, and then, I think something like between like 30 and 70 survivors. So it was the weirdest thing reading about this is that there were people who would call the flight attendants over on flights that were in planes with the salvaged parts. And they'd be like, there's a woman sitting next to me and her eyes are closed and she looks very sick. And then the flight attendant would come over and there'd be no one there. Or they'd say like a man just came over and started talking to me. And these people were credible. Like they say, I don't remember where I read this, but it said, although Eastern Airlines refuses to discuss the matter, researchers have interviewed numerous individuals claiming to have encountered the ill-fated pair, the Loft and Repo, on L-1011s. As the reports would have it, Loft and Repo have devoted their afterlives to watching over the passengers and crew of the planes. And the testimonies are extremely persuasive. Many come from people in highly responsible positions, pilots, flight officers, even a vice president of Eastern Airlines who allegedly spoke with a captain he assumed was in charge of the flight before recognizing him as the late Loft. And apparently, like, they say things sometimes, like the apparitions will be like, I will never let another crash happen, or like, I will protect this plane.
Well, it sounds like they're friendly ghosts, at least.
No, they're very friendly.
Yeah.
They're good ghosts.
Yeah, it's just like, it's one of those things. The more credible it is, the more it's like, oh, a person who's probably like as on the straight and narrow as you can possibly be.
In response to our plants having ghosts question, somebody said, oh, I thought your question was, do plants have ghosts?
Like have souls.
Oh, right.
And then they were like, the ghosts are the oxygen that they make that we all breathe. We're all breathing plant ghosts.
It's the singularity.
I just
We're
did a
all one.
mind explosion. No, the plane thing is. So when is the last time that people were having sightings of this? Is it mostly? Are there any reports?
Recently? That's a good question. I thought that the reports stopped after they removed the salvaged parts, but maybe not.
Huh. Also, Eastern Airlines doesn't exist anymore. Was it only Eastern Airlines flights that were haunted? Or was it like other...
It may have been the just particular type of plane. I think it was mostly Eastern, though. It's hard because it's all kind of collected on these websites that are like, you just really want to believe the story, but they're not super specific. But I don't know,
it was other
Eastern
aircraft.
Only Eastern aircraft.
And now
in
they
a way,
don't
I'd be
exist
so
anymore.
psyched to have like a good ghost on the airplane.
Yeah, keeping it up.
That plane.
A good gremlin on the wing.
Yeah, I still make Molly text me before I fly to keep the plane up.
Yeah,
And if she doesn't, I'm like,
I keep it up with my thoughts.
Yep. Well, speaking of plants having feelings, I think that we got a night call about a plant.
I'm not sure it's paranormal. It's probably static electricity. But one time I was walking in a carpeted area and I was near a plant and the plant leaf unfurled, shocked me, and then furled back up again. So that was a negative experience with plants. Probably wasn't paranormal, but you never know. Bye.
I was very excited to hear this because I don't know if you guys know about the quote-unquote sensitive plant. The mimosa?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm obsessed with the sensitive plant.
Yeah.
Do you know about this plant?
No, tell me.
It looks like a fern, kind of.
Yeah.
Um,
It's really pretty.
it's
I
a beautiful,
love
it's a very
mimosas.
delicate plant, and if you touch it or stroke it, it like
Curls
Venus
up.
flytraps kind
Yeah.
of. But it's interesting because it's like not totally understood why. Like it doesn't really protect it from a predator.
And it's not a carnivorous plant either. It's
No,
not like
it's
eating
not
a
trying
bug.
to trap you. It's just emo.
beauty.
Yeah.
It's an emo plant. They had them at Home Depot, and they were marketing them as emo plants, and I was like, I will buy one. And then
Wait,
unsurprisingly,
really?
it died, yes.
Oh my god.
Maybe it saw a ghost.
I think it probably was like, I put it where the jasmine where it was just sitting on the ledge right above the jasmine that died. So
Definitely
I'm
saw
just saying.
similar
Wow.
ghosts.
Yeah.
I definitely think plants can think and feel. And there's footage of like plants doing things in kind of slowly, but
Yeah.
I remember seeing some footage in a documentary of a plant, like it was like a parasitic plant, and it went up to other plants and it could recognize whether it was in their family or not. And if it was in their family, it would be like nope and like move on and then eat some other plant instead. That
Really?
It wasn't in the, yeah, it was amazing.
Huh.
I wonder what plant that was.
I will find out. I did a post about it once a million years ago.
This all just reminds me of like Poison Ivy from Batman.
From Batman,
Yeah, Batman and Robin.
Justice for Poison Ivy.
I know. Yeah, I just love.
She's like a good eco-terrorist.
Right, she just wants plants to rule the world again,
Which
like,
I
it's a
really
noble.
agree strongly with.
No, Molly, what happens to us? No.
Human Extinction Project.
I love Poison Ivy, and I love anytime there's like a monster or villain of the week on Sailor Moon that's like plant oriented,
monster.
because it's always like a little like creepy vine that'll like.
Plant monsters are scary. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah,
So good.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it's really terrifying. I
Yeah.
have this problem where when I start thinking about if plants have souls and see ghosts and can hear and stuff, because I like adopt a lot of plants. Like if anyone's giving away a plant, I'll just like automatically take it. But then you run into a problem because you need eventually to like get rid of some plants to take care of the plants that need more space, and to just like give away your plants.
and then
seems-
they come back,
right?
to haunt
Yeah,
you.
they're
Like
gonna
the
have
brave little
issues.
toaster.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
don't throw me away.
Please don't get rid of me.
I'm an object.
Yeah.
It's kind of shocking there hasn't been a Pixar movie about this, like
Well,
to make
wait
you feel
a second,
sad
not
about.
yet.
Yeah,
But we just cooked up something.
I know.
Now we're cooking with fire.
I feel like that's all. Like anytime I'm just like dunking on Pixar, it's just like thinking of the next anthropomorphic thing it can make you feel bad about. Like, what
How about women?
Hey. Yeah, no, that'll never happen. But yeah, it's like I feel like their entire business model is like making you feel bad about, or like imagine feelings on things that don't have feelings.
Well, that's kind of like why I feel like the time was right for Marie Kondo is because it's been so many years of anthropomorphizing objects. And she's like, great, they do have souls and feelings, but now you just tell them,
Yeah.
like, go away.
Yeah.
and
I
they
saw
will.
a good argument for her that was saying that it was all Shintoism, where it was like, yeah, all your stuff does have a soul,
Yeah.
and that's why you thank it,
thank
and
it.
bid it goodbye. and
Yeah.
it's fine.
The interesting thing in Japan is that like people don't like used stuff or like taking stuff to secondhand stores is kind of like a more recent phenomenon because people just don't generally buy secondhand stuff because they like because of the sort of Shinto beliefs of like the energy and like the previous life it's had.
Yeah.
But I think people are doing it now more just because of the economy. But because of like also that people imbue the stuff in their objects, people take really, really good care of their stuff. So like
Yeah.
if you do go to a secondhand store, it tends to be really good condition. But I feel like we could use a little more of that in our culture.
I'm kind of into the idea of getting something secondhand and getting an influx of other vibes. The only problem is being able to like read a vibe, which
Right,
is not my
yes.
strong suit necessarily.
I don't know. I feel like I have a pretty good read on vibes of clothes. Like where you can picture the clothes having been. Maybe it's like worse for like harder objects.
Yeah.
But softer objects that are more absorbent. I feel like I can read the
They
energy.
absorb the vibes.
Yeah. I can sense them.
Checks out.
I mean, almost all the clothes I buy are used, so I better be good at reading vibes.
Have you ever had a haunted clothing item?
I think I have.
Yeah.
I had a jacket that I lost at a nightclub in Providence, Rhode Island, and that jacket was a secondhand jacket. it was from I think the store was called Ragtime, and it was on Thayer Street. And I remember like I got it, and then it just like it kept falling off the hanger, and I was like, that's annoying. And I'd like zip it up, and the zipper would kind of slide down and fall off the hanger. And then eventually I lost it and felt like it like wanted to leave, so I just let it go. But it did have a bunch of cash in it, which I was very. I mean, that's such a dick move of a jacket. But
Yeah.
I feel like coats tend to have them hold on to the most
I
energy.
think so. Maybe things with
'Cause
pockets.
also you wear coats so much more than you wear any other one article of clothing, except for maybe jeans. Well, I have a coat that's come into my life that it was not pre-owned, but I have a coat now that I did not pay for that I feel like maybe has some bad juju on it because of the way that I acquired it.
You explained it to me, and it's fine.
It's fine,
You
but I
didn't
feel
take it
guilty.
from a murder
I didn't
house.
take it from anybody.
Somebody gave it to
me,
you.
but it's like I don't know. It's like yeah. Anyway, but I also
You feel guilty that you didn't like earn it with your brain.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
It's fine.
You
But
didn't
I didn't
earn it
earn
some
with my brain.
other weirder way.
But I also picked up a jacket once at Bar Stella like a few years ago when I lived here, and I tried to return it back to the bar, and they were like we don't have any idea. You should just like hang on to
They're
it.
like,
or
that person hasn't been here in
Yeah.
100
Right.
years.
Like, this jacket
This
is
bar
from
was never here at all.
But they were just like, you should just keep the coat. And so I had it, but then I just got this really bad feeling about the coat. Like it fit me, and it was like not a coat I wouldn't wear, but I felt like I should not have it.
Yeah.
So I think I gave it to somebody else.
Uh-oh. Shade letter.
I know. It chased them. But I don't know.
Now I'm thinking about the Sopranos episode about a jacket.
Which one?
There's one where somebody gives Tony a jacket and then finds out that he's like gave it away.
Oh.
Oh, I do kind of
Yeah.
remember this.
What
Yeah.
kind of jacket was it? Was it
Like
a leather jacket? Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's like something he would never wear.
Yeah.
But then it's like the guy sees like Tony's maid wearing it or something.
Oh, right. Yeah. Coats have baggage, man.
They do. Also purses.
Yeah.
Definitely had some secondhand purses that were not meant to stay with me.
It's really hard to get rid of purses.
It's impossible.
I change purses all the time.
I mean,
Do you throw them away?
I just buy cheap ones, and then when they wear them through, which I like always do, I just move on.
I move on from them, but I think I find it hard to give them away. Like it's it's such a touchy
Or out of the
thing.
closet.
Mine gets so gross, I'm just ashamed. I don't want to be like,
Right, there's that too.
There's
Well,
crackers.
I had this purse I didn't wear a lot, so it was in pretty good condition, and I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff because I was having some kind of like panic-induced move or whatever. And I remember leaving a box of stuff out of the closet, like when I was like driving this U-Haul truck, and then like rounding the corner. And like a homeless person had already picked up the purse and it was like walking off with it, and it was like seeing like yourself like it was like,
Well, that's good
I
that
don't
you
know.
saw that somebody
No,
got it.
that makes me feel really good. Like I feel like somebody should
I do
have
that.
it.
I sometimes just leave stuff out
Yeah.
where I'm like, somebody will take it. And
But
if
haven't
not-
you ever left something big out and then watched as no one takes
Yes,
it
of
and like
course.
birds start
My friend
dropping
left
on
a
it?
couch out, and
The
I was
couch.
like, "Oh, what is that couch?" She was like, "You don't want it. It's been in the rain for like 3 weeks now."
It's so awful.
But I was
and,
like, somebody
yeah.
will use it.
No, but people do curb alerts, and then like you can see people kind of slow down and look at the couch and be like, "Nah." And
Somebody
then you feel sad about
left
it.
a now like waterlogged copy of Art of War outside of my apartment. that was there as of the time that I left the other day.
Curb alert outside Emily.
I know. I kept wanting to take a picture, and then it was so cold out. So now, like, it gets so cold out that my phone just shuts down.
Yes,
in the
yeah.
cold. So I was going to take a picture of it for Instagram and just say somebody lost, but then it was not meant to be. Yeah. Anyway, take care of your stuff, and then ensure that it has a good home. Don't waste stuff.
And if you have a story about a haunted object, a bad juju item of clothing, or anything else, sensitive plants, weird plane flights, please give us a call at 240-46-NIGHT. We do not have any kind of personalized outgoing greeting. Leave your message anyway. That's the right number. You can also email us at nightcallpodcast@gmail.com. And while you're at it, you may want to follow us on social media. Nightcall Podcast on Facebook, Nightcall Podcast on Instagram, Nightcall Pod on Twitter.
And subscribe to us if you haven't already on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Keep up on all things Night Call. And yeah, we'll be back next week.
Oh, also, if you have any ideas of things that you would like Night Call to look into doing, like a book club or recommendations, hit us up with some suggestions because we're planning some fun ways to...
We're expanding our empire.
Exactly. We're expanding our empire. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.